prosperity of a nation, let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, court adjourns suit seeking to declare seats of 27 Rivers lawmakers vacant. Organized Labour says it is not fixated on any figure for minimum wage. Algon says local governments cannot pay proposed minimum wage. And on the foreign scene, China tops agenda of G7 summit in Italy. I'm Ifichuku Moyele with the news. Now, the hearing on the lawsuit filed by a civil society organization challenging the eligibility of Martin Amehule and 26 others as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly faced another setback today at the Federal High Court. The presiding judge, Justice Stephen Pam, adjourned the case to June 24 for a hearing following the absence of the defendant. The lawyers to the 27 lawmakers, Ferdinand Obi, had written to the court requesting more time to attend another case at the appeal court involving his clients today. As you may know, the civil society organization is seeking a court order to prevent Governor Siminalayi Fubara from recognizing Martin Amehule and 26 others as lawmakers. They are also asking for the lawmakers' seats to be declared vacant. Now, as the tenure of the 23 local government chairmen in Rivers State ends on Monday, some residents of Port Harcourt have urged the chairman to avoid taking any actions that could incite unrest in the state. In an interview with our correspondent, they said maintaining peace amidst economic challenges should be their top priority. Elsewhere, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has published the final list of candidates and their running mate. National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee Sam Olumeku made this known in a statement on Thursday. He said personal particulars of the candidates and their running mate have been published at INEC state and local government offices in Ondo State. He said two political parties, the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) and the Social Democratic Party (SDP), conducted fresh primaries to replace their earlier nominated candidates and their running mates. Moving on, a human rights activist and the coordinator of People's Advocate, Courage Nseremovu, has advised the political class to ensure they do not sink the nation with corruption. Mr. Nseremovu gave this advice while analyzing how the 25 years practice of democracy has plunged the country into hardship and increased the flamboyant lifestyle of government officials.
We must, have a strong paradigm shift, integrity, accountability. The beautiful words of the national anthem will not bring the change. Corruption is not a legacy to leave for us. No, we want to leave a banner without stain. We should ask for integrity. And then, you talk about prosperity. The government must be economic and business conscious because it should be a government for the people. If the people are poor, then it's not a government for the people. The leaders must have a rethink.
Mr. Nseremovu also urged the government of Rivers State to engage in the productive sector in order to bring more dividends of democracy to the citizens.
We encourage state governors who are beginning to think, like Alex Oti of Abia State, who are beginning to think of production. So the governor of Rivers State should not just limit himself to roads. He should think of power supply. Even if we may not be able to produce, which we still can, we have rivers in river states, we have fishes in the river, we should do something with it. We have land for agriculture. So the government of Siminalayi Fubara should think production.
In another development, the leader of a private security outfit, Tantita Security Network in Bile, Degema local government area of River State, Ibunimi West, is confident that security agencies will fish out the attackers of his members. Mr. West said this in an interview while narrating how suspected oil thieves attacked them in the community. The secretary of Bile Council of Chiefs, Lucky Man Igila, tells correspondent Yobi Oruware that 3 houses were set ablaze during the attack.
and some youths went and burned down 3 houses belonging to employees of a transport security company. Young men who claim to be members of the Idiot Family. The Idiot Family is a group of young men that has grouped themselves. We don't actually know what they're actually fighting for, but their activities goes against the laws of the land of this country. So far,
Now, he said the community has reported the incident to the police.
The Delay Kingdom Chiefs Council has notified the security agencies. As you know, delay is the issue has been formally reported to them. They witnessed it also. We have also reported the matter at the divisional headquarters in Degema. Presently, they are doing their investigations, and we believe that sooner or later the culprits will be brought to book. Fears here and there, speculations are flying here and there. You know, when something has happened, there is always the fear for either them to return or reprisal attacks and other things. As at now that we are speaking, delay is very, very peaceful. Everyone is going about their...
Now, some of the victims spoke to our correspondent.
Last night, we went out to operation, coupled with our directors and our asking us to...
The wellhead 14 in the Billy 1 Kakama oil field.
Shut down the wellhead, dragged out the place where we are going to set it ablaze. We succeeded and we came back. Only for me to come back to meet my family. I was just talking to my wife while the first call. When I took my family away from the house, not quite 80 minutes, thereabouts.
Then we are maxing. Thing happened around 2:20. Now with this glass, after breaking the whole of the glass, I tried because one of my sons was just like this. I tried make her come carry her. Next thing I see don't pour fuel palo. Shout make people come and say when I go, I'm not sitting, they don't pour fuel.
In other news, the House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence has asked the federal government to purchase new aircraft for President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. Now, the committee's recommendation is contained in a report released after its investigation into the status of the aircraft in the presidential air fleet. Recall that in May, the House of Representatives mandated the committee to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the aircraft in the presidential fleet to ascertain their airworthiness and technical status. Still to come, Algon says local governments cannot pay proposed minimum wage. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Opus Senebo Kingsley Fubara Hart. Heartily felicitates His Majesty. Organized labor is not fixated on any figure for minimum wage. Mr. Osifo, who said this on Channels Television today, said no figure is sacrosanct as there is always room for adjustments. He said one of the reasons the labor union went on industrial action was because when it got to 60,000 naira, they were told that they cannot even add 1 naira to the 60,000 naira. As you may know, President Tinubu is expected to send an executive bill to the National Assembly for legislative action. In the meantime, the Association of Local Government of Nigeria has raised concerns over the proposed 62,000 naira minimum wage, insisting that if approved, the wage may put a financial strain on the councils. Algon National President Aminu Muazu Maifata
in an interview on Channels Television, said it would be difficult for local government areas administrations to pay the 62,000 naira proposed minimum wage. He said some local government areas in the country are still struggling to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage approved in 2019. In business, the World Bank has said that the tightening of the monetary policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) will not address inflation in the country. It made this known in its Global Economic Prospects report. It said one of the risks of Nigeria's economic growth is the failure to tighten policies on inflation. And the report also predicted Nigeria's economic growth rate outlook for the rest of 2024 and 2025 to remain the same. In entertainment, the Grammy Award singer Burna Boy has become the African artist with the highest grossing tour in Canada. According to the post shared by Touring Data, Burna Boy grossed close to $6 million from 6 concerts as part of the I Told Them tour in Canada. In sports, the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) says it will hire an expatriate technical advisor for the Super Eagles after the team's dismissal outing in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Group of 7 leaders launched into a final day of talks as their annual summit today. At their annual summit today, with China topping the agenda, Pope Francis will also put in a historic appearance to discuss artificial intelligence. The Pope will be joined by 10 other heads of state and government, including the Prime Minister of India and the King of Jordan, as the G7 throws open its doors to outsiders to show it isn't an exclusive club.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A federal high court has adjourned the suit seeking to declare the seats of 27 Rivers lawmakers vacant. The organized labor says it is not fixated on any figure for minimum wage. Algon says local government cannot pay the proposed 62,000 naira minimum wage. And on the foreign scene, a group of 7 leaders launched into a final day of talks at their annual summit today, with China topping the agenda. The news was edited by Martha Okirinkem. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.
Democracy is the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. Nigeria.